Happy birthday, Occupy. So, what does Occupy mean to me? Well, it changed the national language. It used to be that I sounded like a crazy person on a soapbox, and I was called a conspiracy theorist. Anytime I mentioned something like the Bilderbergs or the elite or banker fraud or corporate ownership and government corruption, people looked at me like I was reading too many sci-fi books or something and just shrugged me off as a conspiracy theorist. And I spent my time trying to convince them, you gotta watch the movie Zeitgeist. And I would just sound cultish to them because it was so foreign. None of this stuff was on the 6 o'clock news, so I must just be crazy. And with the help of WikiLeaks and Anonymous, and then they lit the torch. And what the Occupy movement did was it took that flame and spread it among the common folk. So all of a sudden, all these things that conspiracy theorists were claiming were being proven to be correct. And that changed the national conversation. All of a sudden, the Occupy movement was occupying traffic. It wasn't just neat little YouTube videos or the odd speech from the odd hippie walking down the street. Now it's your average Joe talking about things like income disparity and poverty and fluoride in our water. Now, I've heard a criticism of Occupy that there's no unifying message. But I mean, really? You're gonna pick just one thing? Look around. We have a million things to complain about, and that's why there is not just one message. Maybe, if anything, the message is everything's messed up. Everything we're doing right now on some level is wrong. And we need to get off the track and start talking and start figuring out what we need fixed. How to do that comes with all of us. I forget who said it, but there's a saying, if everyone cleaned their front step, the whole world would be clean. So what's got you? What gets you angry? When you look around, what bothers you? Me personally, I have issues with WSIB. I have issues with Veterans Affairs. Right there. So if I concentrate on that and you concentrate on the environment or the pipelines or the fact that our best farmland is being mined out and pipelines are going through our most delicate ecosystems. I mean, pick a subject. What would you like? Corruption in the government? There's tons of that. Unfair elections? Sure, we got that too. Do you want to talk about the corporate elite? Do you want to just talk locally, or are we going to look globally? There isn't just one thing. There's a lot of things that need fixing, and it's not going to be done by one person. It's only all of us together fixing everything that's going to fix everything. Now, people say Occupy fizzled out, but I don't think you understand. If Occupy is done, which I don't believe it is, I believe Occupy has mutated. Let's look at it that way. The Occupy movement had a purpose, and it was to take the truths that these conspiracy theorists had found out. They were going to take these truths and put them in the kitchen conversation of every single person in every single country, and this spread around the world. And for the first time in a long time, people are aware that the 6 o'clock news is watered down bullshit. For the first time in a long time, people are aware of exactly how much of a slave they really are. For the first time in a long time, people are aware that corruption permeates just about everything that controls us right now. And also, people are starting to learn their power. because we see, we'll do a huge Twitter campaign and suddenly a politician will back off from a certain leaning or a certain direction because, what happens in the public affects them very deeply. So something as fun as a Twitter campaign like Tell Vic everything, that has direct action. The Arctic, they're paying attention. All of a sudden, people care about pipelines. It's starting conversations. They are few and we are many. If all of a sudden the majority of the population demanded a certain change, they would have no choice. And if you want proof of that, look at what happened in Iceland. The Occupy movement in Iceland toppled a government, had a bunch of bankers arrested, debt forgiveness for the masses, and their economy is bouncing back. Look what happened in Egypt. It toppled a regime, a very powerful regime. And again, that was the Occupy movement that started the Arab Spring. So, Occupy, what you're thinking, the few little tents, in a park, that might be how it started, but it's since mutated and it's now in the hands of the masses. And whether or not a big change is going to come, I guess we'll see. Apparently, that's what this 2012 is all about. All the prophecies, especially if you listen to guys like Tazarian, they talk about, or he talks about, sorry, when the masks come off and all of a sudden all truths are revealed. And I'm guessing that alluded to WikiLeaks and Anonymous, and Anonymous is about to do another big information dump. And now people all over the world are becoming whistleblowers just from stuff they're seeing in their workplace or out and about. And the sharing of information, knowledge is power, and the people are becoming very powerful. The more aware we are, the more we are demanding change. And you see the speeches reflected in politicians and in the media. They're starting to pick up a lot of our conspiracy theory lingo. So truth is coming out, and things hopefully will change. It depends on how pissed off and determined you're willing to get. And look at Iceland. They are a really good inspiration. And hopefully, people do wake up and the fire does get lit and freedom is ours. We've certainly deserve it. It's about time. And apparently the planets are aligning in our favor and aliens are aligning in our favor. Things are supposed to be working out for the good. So let's hope and pray.